Unscripted.
You know, another day of Xbox fans kind of being salty and upset. And, you know, I sort of understand it a little bit. Trust me, when I was all in on Xbox last generation, you know, you would see some of these headlines and you would see some of these sites and people talking about Xbox One, and I personally didn't understand it. And of course, I was coming from a different perspective back then because Xbox had games. You know, Xbox had exclusive games, and these games were, you know, pretty decent to start off a new generation with. You know, I thought they really showcased everything that you really needed them to show. They took advantage of the hardware, they took advantage of the new features you were trying to showcase, and just overall, the excitement level was there. And, you know, and I really do think that they really did a good job with that. And I think that it's going to be very, very important for people to understand that that's just how it was really sort of gonna be, you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, everybody would cry, and I know I used to do this too. I used to say media bias, and it's like, you know, you get to that point where you understand that it's not really media bias, but instead it's just honesty. And I think that that's something that kind of goes a long way. It is lost on a lot of people these days for the simple fact that you know, the Microsoft camp didn't do a good job of delivering on what they promised, and that's always going to be a problem for them because people are going to not take their word for it. That I mean, they could buy 1 million studios, but until they're consistently putting quality games out, quality exclusives out, I don't think anybody's going to really much care. It's like, you know, they focus on all this other stuff. Whenever you hear it, Phil being interviewed, you know, he's talking about, you know, playing everywhere you want, on any device you want, any place you want. And it's like, he doesn't understand that if you don't have the content, it doesn't really matter how many different devices you can play on. Like, oh, what whoop-de-doo, I can now play no games on my Samsung TV with an Xbox app. Great. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, the first thing that should have been fixed is the game situation. That should have been the first thing that they addressed, not the last thing. And now everybody's kind of suffering for it. And if you're having fun with the Xbox Series X or S, that's fine with me. Like, I'm not going to knock it. For me personally, though, like I said, it's so buggy and glitchy that I haven't even experienced any of the stuff. It feels like the Xbox One X. I have not, outside of playing Call of Duty at 120 frames, I haven't had one experience that screams next gen to me with that console using it at all. And in fact, most of the time I can't even boot up a game. So, you know, it's always got to download something, or, you know, and it won't download if I have it off or whatever. It's just, it's kind of a hassle more than anything. So, you know, with that being said, it is a bit of a bummer, you know, that sort of happens. And the PlayStation 5, for instance, is actually going so far above what anybody thought it would do. You know, everybody kind of made fun of it and said, hey, you know, this thing's going to be a much weaker machine, and it's not going to be able to do this, and it's not going to be able to do that. And then at the end of the day, realistically, it's able to do so much, and it's really just able to go out there and sort of you know, outperform what anybody even dreamed it could do. And it just goes to show you that Mark Cerny kind of knew what he was talking about. And not only did he know what he was talking about, a lot of the pundits that have never made a game, never built a console, never have anything to do with console gaming, they didn't know what they were talking about, right? So again, this is something that we're kind of seeing come to fruition, and it makes you kind of wonder. But I want to get into this because I thought it was very funny, and Xbox fans are kind of flipping out, which, again, is kind of a bonus, but whatever. What's up, everybody? Crapgamer here with Crapgamer Reviews, back with another video. Thank you so much for checking it out. I really do appreciate it. Please like, share, subscribe. I would appreciate that as well. It helps out the channel, and it means a lot to me personally. If you're looking for a way to help out my little pissant channel, the best way to do it, a simple like. It really does go a long, long way. And even with that being said, shout out to all the old subscribers, new subscribers, and everybody in between. You are fantastic, fantastic people, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise. It really means a lot to me. I put a lot of time and effort into these videos, and, you know, the support that you guys are giving me has been incredible. So thank you guys so much for all of that. It does just warm my heart, so thank you. Again, so I want to get into this. It was very interesting because IGN sort of threw some shade and some embarrassment at at Microsoft and the Xbox Series X, and fans again just literally aren't very happy about it. And the funny thing is not sure why anybody should be surprised. Like, so IGN puts out this tweet: the PS5 is outperforming the Xbox Series X, despite the Series X being more powerful on paper, and Microsoft is trying to figure out why. So this sort of goes in line with what I was covering the other day, where Phil Spencer and company are saying, well, we're going to figure out what's wrong, and we're going to look into it, and we're going to get this, and we're going to do that, and we're going to, hopefully we're going to get this up and running, and then there's this problem and that problem, and we don't understand it. It's like, listen, cut this nonsense, right? I got called, once again, yours truly got called a fearmonger and a radical and all this other nonsense, right? When I said and questioned, why haven't we seen any games running on the Xbox Series X yet, right? Like, Sony was showing off all kinds of stuff on the PS5. Why haven't we seen anything on the Xbox Series X? And even when they did show stuff, it was stuff like Yakuza Like a Dragon, which, like, I don't think has ray tracing or anything like that. It was not very a strenuous game. And it was like we were seeing stuff on the Xbox Series S, but nothing on the Xbox Series X, and it makes you wonder if there's some kind of problem, like maybe they're launching this thing too early. Like, I think the Xbox Series X, more than anything, could have benefited from a delay. Imagine them delaying that a year till next holiday and launching that with Halo, and when it's actually ready to play games next generation wise, right? I feel like that probably would have been behooved them a little bit. Although, I mean, listen, they're going to sell a few consoles here and there up until that point anyway. I just feel like, maybe that out of all the consoles that we've seen, it's kind of clear to me anyway that obviously the Xbox Series X wasn't exactly ready, and I hate to really kind of say it that way, but I mean, it is kind of clear that that's sort of the case here, right? It's not really ready, and I just feel like that is something that is going to be a bit of a problem, sort of going forward. Like, you really wish that they could have like fixed something, or they could have got something working a little bit better to really showcase what they could do. I just really wish that they would have been able to do that, and I really do hope that they can sort of achieve that at some point, because I'm a owner of one of these as well, and I hope that they kind of fix it, and I hope that they kind of get out there and get the most out of it, because as somebody who is an owner of this, I do feel like I've been let down and I've been like misled and stuff like that, because they were promising, so many different things. They were promising, hey, we're going to get you this, and we're going to get you that, and we're going to, it's going to be a beast, and it's going to do that. And, I just feel like that's going to be something that, was a bit of a mistake. They were talking up the power, and rightly so. Like, if you're Microsoft, what the heck else are you going to talk about, right? Like, honestly, what are you going to talk about? Like, because at the end of the day, I just really think that it's going to be a problem, because, again, they really kind of failed to deliver with what they were promising. Oh, we got a beast that eats monsters or what have you, and you're getting outperformed by a PS5, something that you kind of made fun of and poked fun of in your marketing. Yeah, that is a bit of a problem, and that's also something that I think that clearly Microsoft can do better with. And Phil Spencer, I mean, like, to this point, if you trust that guy, I don't really know what to say. Like, for me personally, I don't trust any business people, to be honest. They're like politicians, but for me personally, I 100% do not trust any of these people. But in particular, when Phil Spencer opened his mouth, you better be ready to kind of just go, oh my gosh, and kind of sit back and and get ready to hear the BS kind of shoveled in, and that's just kind of what it is. I just feel like that's one of the things that he does best. Like, he's going to try and sell people on what he has, and for me personally, I don't care. I honestly just do not care. I think that, it's mostly he's just trying to save face at this point, and do I trust him? No. I don't think he has console gamers at heart. I don't think that he really cares about consoles, and it really kind of shows. Like, instead of hyping consoles lately, mostly it's all about him talking up streaming and playing anywhere and all this kind of stuff. So hopefully that changes and they can put some kind of focus. I'm not saying you can't do that other stuff, but you have this console, maybe put a little bit of focus on it and make people feel like they should get it and want this console, and maybe make it so that it actually delivers what people are asking for. I feel like that's something that should happen, and that probably, hopefully, will happen. I honestly do hope that they kind of fix that and get everything going in the right direction at some point. I honestly do. I just hope that they get that going, and I hope that that's something that happens sooner rather than later. I really do want to see everybody just be able to be happy and game and have a good time, and until they get their act together with their own stuff, their own first party stuff, I don't really think that it's really going to happen. So hopefully it happens sooner rather than later. I would love to see it happen, but until then, I will link this article in the description. You guys can check it out and let me know what you think. Until that point, stay safe, happy, and healthy. Thank you so much for taking time out to watch one of my videos. Have a fantastic day. Game on, my friends. Game on. Rack 'em up. Crapgamer out.
Unscripted.